Now we want to work out the equation of a line which passes through 2 points, and we're using a formula here for doing it. The formula goes like this: y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. This formula is useful if you know the gradient and one point which lies on the line. As in this example here, we know it's got a gradient of 3 and we know 1 point on the line. But what's its equation? Well, we're going to just substitute into this formula here. The gradient a equals 3, and we know that this is 1 point. This is the point x1, y1 on the line. So let's put that information into the equation here. Now, y minus y1 is 5 equals a, gradient equals 3, x minus x1. X minus x1 is minus 2. Now the x and y, they're parts of our equation. X and y, we don't substitute into those there. So we're just going to go from here now, and we're going to rearrange it. I mean, this is already the equation of a straight line, but we normally like equations of a straight line in the form y equals ax plus b. So we're going to change it into that familiar form. Now, first thing I might do is just tidy this up a little bit. X minus minus 2 is the same thing as x plus 2. So let's tidy that. And the next thing I might do is I might multiply out these brackets. Now I've run out of space, I'm just going to go up over here. Sorry about this, I didn't leave enough space here. But if I multiply and expand out the brackets there, y minus 5 equals 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now I'm nearly there. Remember what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to find its equation in the form y equals ax plus b. Well, it's nearly there. I've just got this 5 here. I can fix that by adding 5 to this side of the equation. I've also got to add 5 to the other side of the equation. So get rid of that 5 by adding 5 to both sides. 3x plus 11. And there's the equation of the line, which goes us through this point, and it's got a gradient of 3. Now, we can do some slightly trickier questions where you have to work out the equation of a line which joins 2 points. Now this is a technique which you're going to use time and time again, so it's a technique which is worth practicing. Now it's going to use the same formula here, but to use this formula we needed to know 1 point on the line and its gradient. Now here we know 2 points on the line, we don't know the gradient. So our first job is to find the gradient. Then we've got everything that we know. You've got a formula for gradient. Gradient is that one where it's the rise over the run, or you can use it like this: y2 equals minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The difference in the y's divided by the difference in the x's. And here's your 2 points. X and y, 1 and 2. So all you have to do is put that information into here to work out the gradient. So the gradient equals y2 minus y1, 14 minus 4, divide by x2 minus x1, 4 minus minus 1. Wow. Could do it on your calculator if you wish. If you are doing it on your calculator, I recommend you either do the top line, bottom line separately, write down your answers, take a little bit of time to do it, or use brackets. Bracket your top line and bracket your bottom line if you're trying to do it in one step on your calculator. Otherwise you could make errors. Anyway, 14 minus 4 is 10. 4 minus minus 1 is the same thing as 4 plus 1, which equals 5. And 10 divided by 5 equals 2. The gradient between these 2 points is 2. Now that you know the gradient and you know 1 point on the line, in fact you know 2, but you know the gradient and 1 point, you can use this formula that we used here, because you know the gradient and a point, x1, y1. So that means the equation is going to be given by this formula, y minus y1 equals ax minus x1. Your value of a, the gradient, is 2, and you've got values for x1, y1 here. Y minus y1 is 4 equals gradient 2, x minus x1 was -1. Be a little bit careful here. X minus minus 1 means x plus 1. Multiply out the brackets. 2x, remember the 2 applies to everything there. 2 times 1 is 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 1 is 2. And now we're nearly there. We want to get it in the form y equals ax plus b. We've just got to get rid of this minus 4, and you can do that by adding it to both sides. If you add 4 to this side, it disappears. Add 4 to this side, and our final equation is the equation y equals 2x plus 6. Let's have another one, exactly the same. We've got 2 points here. To be able to use this equation here, you need to know the gradient between the 2 points. And you can find that using the formula rise over run, or if you like, the difference in the y coordinates divided by the difference in the x coordinates. Label up your points. We'll call this point the point xy and point xy 1 and 2. So it's y2 minus y1, -1 minus 2, over x2 minus 3 minus x1 minus 9. Be very careful with your plus and minus signs. Okay, so think about the number line. -1 take away 2 is -3. And -3 minus -9 is the same thing as -3 plus 9. And -3 plus 9 will get us to +6. You could work this out on your calculator at this stage if you wanted to, because it's not looking that friendly, or maybe not too bad. But we've got -3 divided by 6. And the answer is -0.5 is the gradient. We can work with that. We can find out its equation. Now using the formula y minus y1 equals gradient a x minus x1. We've got all the pieces of information we know. We know the gradient is -0.5, and we know 1 point on the line. In fact, we know 2 points. So y minus y1 was 2, and the gradient is -0.5, and x1 is -9. Okay, this has come up a lot in our questions. It won't always come up, but let's simplify that. Y minus 2 equals 0.5. X minus -9 is the same thing as x plus 9. Now I'm going to multiply out these brackets. Y minus 2 equals, this -5 applies to both this and this. So it's -0.5 times x, -0.5 x, and -0.5 times 9. Might be a good idea. Oh, it's already on my calculator there, so I can times it by 9 equals -4.5. And we're nearly there. I just want my final equation in the form y equals ax plus b. I've got y minus 2. If I add 2 to both sides of the equation, I will get y equals -0.5x and adding 2. Negative 4.5 plus 2 is equal to negative 2.5. There's my equation. I'll just write it up here.